maybe his head, and his ribs falling apart, and he wants to stay home, and he don't want to be in a nursing home, and the roof just needs to get fixed.
I did speak with you 2 days ago, yes. I had forwarded your request immediately over to Mayor Ellis, so I will defer to him if he'll be willing to answer at this point in time.
I will. I have met with the Bundros a while ago. I am aware of the situation with the roof. There's about $100,000 left in the RCA program. That was the regional contribution agreement. That was Bernardsville. That was Mount Laurel, Alamucci. We're more than, we don't want the money sitting in the account. It's worthless sitting in the account. And we know there's homes that need to be refurbished, and that's what it's for. The problem we ran into, and I'll apologize to you, someone has to drive the bus. It wasn't as easy as writing you a check for whatever the roof was. We had to take a code inspector, which we're kind of light on, and he has to draw plans for the roof. You need plans for the roof. And once that's done, then you would send it out to bid, and we would take the lowest bidder as long as he met the plan specifications, and you could go ahead with the roof. The most I can say right now is I will endeavor to the best of my ability to get Paul Smith to write a set of plans up for your roof. And then it's a matter of seeing Bob Merlo. He cuts a check on the low bid vendor. It was just a matter of so much to do and so few people. But I am fully aware. Come up this week. We'll go down to code together and see if we can.
All right, thank you.
Twist his arm.
Thank you.
Mayor, thank you. Tracy, thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Rob Contrell. I live at 2 Mile Court, Phillipsburg, New Jersey. Just want to thank you all tonight for welcoming again businesses to the town of Phillipsburg. When I paid off $120,000 in back taxes on that property and saw the property the way it is, people looked at me and said, "Dude, you're crazy. Why are you touching that property?" And it was due to the fact that I thought it was in the right location for my business. And it's nice to hear that Phillipsburg's open for business again. And I hope you all continue to work together to put aside your differences and do what's best for the town of Phillipsburg. And Tracy, as for your grandfather, if it gets approved and he needs a roof, I will definitely donate that dumpster for whatever the roof is for.
Mr. Contrell, thank you very much. You're the kind of guy we'd like to keep right here in Phillipsburg. Thank you. Any other comment?
Liz Paulus, 26A Glen Avenue. At the last meeting, I had addressed the mayor about his not responding to my emails. He told me that he would respond the next day. I'm still waiting.
May I respond, Council President?
Yes, sir.
The next day, I went to Town Clerk Victoria Kleiner. I think she'll vouch for that. She provided the Oprah request for me, which I forwarded to Council Wenner. Council Wenner ruled on it for me, and Council, correct me if I'm wrong, but you felt it was overly burdensome.
Overly broad, yep.
It would have.
That's not what I'm referring to. I said the emails, not the Oprah request.
Well, the Oprah request I received from the town clerk was about emails.
Yes, but I've been emailing you several times. I think I started February 13th, inquiring as to the status of the town hall meetings. And you responded that you would set a date by the end of the week. I reminded you that Friday, February 16th, that you had not responded. As well as after that, I emailed you probably 2 or 3 other times about scheduling a meeting with myself, Mr. Wenner, and my attorney, because you're not responding to my request. Now, you did respond to a Facebook post that I made.
I did.
On Saturday night,
Right.
where you slandered me.
And
So and then deleted everything. So I want to make this record of what you did,
My pleasure.
because I will take action.
You have the right to do that.
Mayor,
I know.
Mayor,
Apologies, Council President.
thank you.
As well as I do have some evidence that I would like to submit to the ad hoc committee for your investigation of the hiring process.
There we go.
So,
Ms. Paulus, would you mind holding on to that document until the ad hoc committee meeting?
no, that's fine.
If that would be okay, that would probably be the best route to take, especially at the meeting.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
But again, I'd like to know why I'm not getting responses to my emails.
If we go through a series of emails every single day, there are so many emails, it's hard to describe. They're prioritized and given to me. The ones I can address. The ones I can't address are given to the appropriate agencies. When you brought it to my attention the next day, as I said, again, I went right to the town clerk and asked for your emails.
You're
Which
confusing
I
it with
received.
my OPA
I
request,
understand we're talking out.
which I've never faxed an OPA request to the town of Phillipsburg that you accused me of doing.
No, I didn't say
Yeah.
town of Phillipsburg.
Yes, you did. You did. So what I'm asking for is a response to my emails requesting the status of the town hall meetings that you said that you were going to have,
We are.
as well as having a meeting with myself, Mr. Wenner, and my attorney.
Mr. Wenner, Council Wenner, I defer to you on your availability. I have no problem whatsoever meeting with Mrs.
That's fine, I'll let him see.
Okay.
I didn't hear that.
He will put it on his calendar to set up the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Paulus.
I knew we didn't put it on wire.
This question is for the mayor, the CEO of the town, Phillipsburg. Did you know there was an Easter egg hunt put on by the Perk Youth Center Friday?
No, I did not.
Phillipsburg Youth Center put it on.
Thank
There's
you.
videos all over the internet, and you said you know nothing about it, and you asked a question. Here's your answer. It's all over Facebook. Kids running, picking up bags.
It's a wonderful thing, Mr. Peter.
All right, the parking ordinance didn't go in effect in effect from 20 days from the,
It will be in effect as of April 9th. The 20-day period will be over at April 9th.
so the mayor's been collecting money from the New Jersey Transit parking lot when people put money in the kiosk machine.
Currently, although we had asked him not to, I believe that he still is, that under the current ordinance, it didn't outline in the transit law that he couldn't collect fees in the ordinance, therefore he's well within his purview. As of April 9th, he will not be able to collect fees. However, just so everyone knows, I have been forwarded an email from the mayor's office that the Department of Transit has one department, I believe it's a supervisor, had emailed the two gentlemen we were in contact with and had asked them to help the mayor out. So the intention seems to be that we will receive something in writing from the Department of Transit that would allow us to collect fees, which would then be permissible as per both the ordinance and the lease agreement.
That is very accurate, Council President. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mayor.
At the last meeting, our councilman Josh Davis voted no to continue to seek Vicky Kleiner for his reasons. And she was basically humiliated during the meeting of what was said. And he never apologized in public, but he apologized to her after the meeting. I don't understand why this guy can't apologize to her in public. Like, even right now. Could you apologize to Ms. Kleiner? Mr. Davis?
So we can, right, so the question would come to me, and if Councilman Davis wishes to answer, he may. Councilman, do you wish to answer?
No, I'm good, thank you, Council President.
You're welcome.
You're a coward.
Mr. Feely, please refrain from calling Councilman Davis names. I understand, but I would, again, I would just ask to refrain from comment. Please. Mr. Feely, please. Thank you. It's been a good meeting so far, folks.
Well said.
Is there anyone else? Okay. No motions? We have council open time, so, yes. They can... Oh, yes, I do have something here. I was handed this special event application permit this evening it's for the requested venue is Walters Park, and I believe that it's already, the applicant is Sandra. Sandra, you can raise your hand. Did you stick around? All right. Sandra Ekis from the Phillipsburg Area Garden Club, and I do believe that, Mayor, this is already on your desk and has been approved, yes?
Mm-hmm. No, wait, is this for the vegetable garden?
It's the pollination event.
Yes, it is. That's approved. That has been.
So this has been approved, so
It has been.
we don't need to do anything then, Vicky?
Well, there'll be a special use permit that will come your way. It's just
Oh.
come up, yeah.
So we can, right, I'll motion to waive the fee.
There you go.
30 seconds.
But I want y'all to know that this is scheduled for May 19th, which is a Saturday. It's also Veterans Day, not Veterans Day, it's Military Service Day, I believe. And it's going to be in Walters Park, which I'm so grateful to have been granted the usage of that Walters Park from approximately 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And I'm also grateful that we're granted by the Northwest New Jersey Garden Club. They're going to do the presentation of pollination and the beehives and all that kind of stuff. I'm just absolutely delighted.
Mike Muckle is leading the charge here, correct? Because
There's no Mike Muckle.
he's doing the same thing.
Oh, is he really?
You should knock on the door.
Okay, I'll make sure I
Yeah,
know.
it's not-
Not the same day.
No, not the same day, but it's got a large, very large pollination project underway.
Oh, that's super.
So you should partner. And
But I would look forward to seeing all of you there. It should be really entertaining. I'll see you, Rick. Thank you.
You're very welcome. We can roll call vote.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Fulton?
Yes. I won't be in attendance, I'm allergic, but good luck to you. Do I need to keep this at all, Vicki?
I can take it.
Excellent. Okay. And we'll move forward with open time, and I will defer to Councilman Lutz.
In work session, can we bring up, talk about an ordinance for all the meters on South Main Street? And I guess it's up to the police chief, he has the key to check the meters to see if they can be changed to 25 cents for 15. And from the Black Bridge to Union Square in events from 8 to 10. See if we can get them going. If not, we're gonna have to start getting. And I'd just like to bring something up. I would like to announce that I am planning to run for mayor for the town of Phillipsburg in the next election. When I am elected, my mission as mayor will be to cultivate a cooperative and productive relationship with the members of council and to develop a viable plan to move Phillipsburg in a positive position for the future without political posturing and bias. Thank you. Thank you. That's it.
tonight, so.
Yeah.
It was good. Vice President, you're not running too, are you?
Huh?
You're not running too, are you?
No.
Okay.
No. So a few things, actually. People have brought up what's been happening. A few things I'll mention because I have passed them along to the mayor's office. He and I met this weekend. One was, this happens to be April is Earth Month, if you're not familiar. So I passed along to him an opportunity. So he assured me we were going to be seeing it in the next couple days, I assume. So if those of you who follow social media, that's the primary platform for nominating. It goes towards one town, one magical town. 15 have already been selected. One is open for a $20,000 park grant. So I've asked the mayor to take the lead on that, look into it. So that is underway. Second, I've also passed along some information regarding an app. So one of the concerns we've heard a lot, especially last year, while we were talking to residents, was trash, 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 trash. And frankly, I think I can speak for everybody when I can say I'm sick of seeing everybody sending trash pictures and posting them online. It's an app. People can record it, and it goes to the appropriate department. If it's a police violation, if it's a trash dumping, you can report it all online through an app. It's free to the user. It would cost the town, honestly, it's pretty inexpensive, but he is investigating that with the town employees at this time to see what their input is. So I haven't gotten feedback yet, but that has been a couple weeks, I believe.
It's $3,000 some odd. You can use your iPhone to take a picture of the violation and send it directly to a point person. I was impressed with it so far, so the staff has been impressed with it. We'll probably get a lot of emails.
Yeah, well, what I explained to the mayor was there's a case study on it. It's been adopted in several New Jersey towns. It's called Report It. You can go ahead and look it up in the App Store. So it is publicly available if you want to investigate it for your own information.
It eliminates complaints getting lost between departments, which is great.
And it does allow a tracking mechanism. So if you're wondering the status of the complaint you sent in, you can log right into the app and it'll tell you where it's at and who's taking care of it. Third, I did send Councilman Lutz a fee adjustment document to look over regarding pool fees, park fees, rental fees. Honestly, with the pool gearing up, I think we're kind of probably past that point. So I think maybe 2 work sessions from now, we look at that again. I don't know that we have time to implement it at this time. So 2 quick events. One, I attended the Exchange Club of Warren County. We had hundreds of kids at that Easter egg hunt Saturday. Fabulous event. I have to say I was a little disappointed. I remember that egg hunt for years. Bikes, skateboards, happy faces. So these volunteers told me they stuffed 7,000 eggs for that event to throw out for, it is pre-K to 2nd grade. So 7,000 eggs. They start in January stuffing these eggs for this event. They're all volunteers. Sadly, donations were down almost 200%. So what I would ask, and the number I believe they told me was what's typically $2,500 in donations was only $750 this year. So that's all they had to work with. The kids look forward to that. They're able to accommodate 130 kids with bonus prizes they come down for. So I just ask, this community is very giving. If you're out shopping at Christmas or something and you see something that could be a great little gift for somebody at Easter, think about that as well. I'm sure the Exchange Club would appreciate it. I know I made a personal commitment. I would buy a bike for next year because I just know it's something they always look for.
I donated my salary. You can put me down for a donation next year.
Fabulous. I will let them know. I was also at the State of the Town, so as we're talking about working together, I was the one council member in attendance. So I was there. I took off just to go, and then I explored Corliss Avenue to get a feel for the magnitude of the mold. And I assure you, as bad as you think it is, multiply it by about 300.
Thank you.
It's that bad. That's, I walked out shaking my head. It's bad. Also, for next work session, I will not be there, but I ask if we can revisit that social media policy. We've brought it up several times. New Jersey League of Municipalities, I believe, did have their
conference?
They did not have that. Wait, it's April, huh?
It is.
They had their conference.
They had their conference.
Yes,
It was
they
in
did.
March, so I've been waiting to ask for follow-up. Do we have any
I
feedback from the conference?
did email the attorney for the New Jersey League of Municipalities asking for a synopsis. I have not received that yet, but I imagine that man is inundated with all kinds of emails. I will look into it further. I'm also very much in favor of the social media policy with regard to municipal employees. Again, understand, especially for, and I believe I had pass this along to Ms. Paulus today. This is for municipal employees. It does not regulate elected officials.
Okay.
Okay, that is the one thing that it doesn't do. And correct me if I'm wrong, council, but when they are elected, they're protected by a certain. I don't know what it's called.
Well,
because I'm not
they're
aware.
employees in the town.
Correct.
So that's the first thing. And then also the personnel.
Right. Okay.
Just two other things. This came in April 2nd. I don't know if everybody got it or not. First-time home buyers assistance, did everybody get this? Through DCA?
God bless you. Thank you. You're welcome.
So this is the Home Seeker First Homeowner Program. Sadly, Warren County was not listed as one of the counties, so I made a phone call to them to find out if the money was still there, if we could be added. There's an additional $10 million for first home buyers now available. That came through Trenton, and it was just released on a press release from DCA on the 2nd. So I have made a call for that. Councilman Davis, if I get them to say yes, is that something you'd be willing to?
I'd be glad and willing.
I know you've brought up first home ownership quite a few times, so if you don't mind, if I get that information and we get an application process, I will work with you on that.
Yeah, is this the income test one? I think it's a function of the HUD program.
It all right, I only took a screenshot,
Okay.
so I only have this little bit, but we can, Home Seeker program?
Yep, and that's what I was hoping to offer at some point in the next few months is an application to DCA or HUD directly to have a portion of that money given to Phillipsburg for our own credit program.
Fabulous. And one other thing I got just today, I don't know if we all received this or not, but McDonald's, did we all get a McDonald's email today?
Yes.
Archways Opportunities through McDonald's. They have $150 million. If anyone here happens to work for McDonald's or is interested in applying to McDonald's, there's a $150 million investment through their Archway Opportunity Education Program now available. So someone from McDonald's emailed us about that opportunity. It's lengthy, I'm sure you'll see it. It is a press release that you can see on the New York Times and USA Today. That's all I have.
Mayor, did you receive that?
I did not.
I will forward it to you if you wouldn't mind
Please.
sharing that on your Facebook page for your constituents.
I would.
Thank you.
So that's all.
Councilman McVeigh, she took up a lot of your time. She did a great job.
6 minutes.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. I hope you had a blessed weekend on however you celebrated it. Thank you for Sergeant in the back. Always be safe to you and the whole department. I want to say I'm very proud of my council member, teammate, Mark Woods, on his announcement. Councilman, I told you before, I came down to your house personally after hearing you first time in the council meeting that you are one of my favorite councilmen. You're a man of integrity. So be proud of yourself. Signs. I want to talk about signs.
They're everywhere.
I don't like them. I think there's a lot of them. I understand the premise behind them. The first couple I liked. I even stuck up for as a former Furtown Falcon, I wanted Furtown team to come in last place on the signage posting, but they finally went up. But there's just a lot of signs. I think it promotes segregation in the neighborhood, is what it does. I want to see about 4 or 5 signs that say, welcome to Phillipsburg, neighbor Stephen R. Ellis. I'm cool with that. Mayor, if you remember when you were campaigning, as I was a supporter of yours, and we had an open discussion about, I had some ideas on signs. One of them was to mimic what Wilson does in their powder blue and white reflective. So you're being Easton, you know you're in Wilson when you just cross over. And I thought that was really good. from a community standpoint. And we are a very proud community where we are proud of our garnet. A garnet and a white reflective on our street signs would be not a bad idea. It's something just to think about, to throw out there. We have a lot of them, and my tipping point of this conversation was the beloved green sign at Walters Park is gone. It's replaced with 6 brown sticks. I'm not quite sure what happened. I don't know who made that decision. I love that beautiful Walters Park sign. We talked about Walters Park a few times here tonight. I understand the premise. I don't know who made that decision. I'm just speaking out loud. I just would like to see a little less signs, a little more community bonding, and we're Phillipsburg. We're not this or that. We're this or that. It's my opinion. That's all I got.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Davis.
Just, and I know other members of council have said it, just a thank you to our DPW department for all the hard work they've done over late winter. Appreciate all the plowing and salting that was done, keeping the streets clear. I know it was really hard work and all that overtime, so kudos to them. We're also in full swing with the youth track season. If you have anyone else who wants to sign up, we're closing off our signups tomorrow, actually. We'll be glad to have you down. Lots of new, exciting new additions this year. We have some representatives from Made Fitness who will be working out with our sprinters, as well as some of the event coaches from the high school to be working on some of the event-specific stuff. So for those who are participating, glad to have you. And if there's anyone else, one more day to come join us. That's it.
Thank you, Councilman. I'd like to echo the sentiment of Councilman McVeigh and say, Councilman Lutz, it's, for those who don't know, Councilman Lutz and his wife Patty are family friends. He has a nice haircut, right? My mom did that. Just in case she's watching. Good luck to you. You're a man of honor and integrity, and I believe in you.
I will do my best. Thank you.
I'd also, I have a question because I've been seeing emails come in. I should have brought this up during new business, but there was an email that had come in regarding the Walters Park ball field being taken away from the Furtown Falcons. There's no truth to that, right, Mayor?
It wasn't taken away. I don't believe it was used in the first place, to my knowledge.
Okay.
Again, the superintendent of recreation kept that list and we're resurrecting it.
If I may, being born and raised here in Phillipsburg and coaching for all of the organizations, the Walters Park field is home to the Furtown Falcons with regard to baseball, and the concession stand is their concession stand. I would politely request that you take that request back to the temporary recreation committee and allow the baseball teams that Walters Park has there as their home field. It is with the league. It is registered with the league as being their home field.
I'll check into it. I didn't take it lightly. I did contact our DPW supervisor. As you know, with the 3 nor'easters and the rain and everything we've had, the fields are pure grease. They're pure mud. They're having a hard time getting up the bases, and they're having a hard time moving the soccer goals around without tearing the fields up. So we were waiting for things to dry out. The issue with Walters Park was that, and Speak Up, I know, I see Matt here, we were going to go from majors to minors? Is that?
No, the juniors played on there last year and years past. But Bentley Field was used for majors last year, and in my discretion as a coach for as many years as I coach, I don't think any team should be playing on that field this year.
Okay, well, I didn't know that, but it was my understanding that the mound had to be moved inward for the minors, and then the infield would have to be sodded. There was work to do, and the
It would just be putting the bases in a different spot, which I believe there's pegs for each.
Yes.
I'm not opposed to using any athletic field at all. What I would suggest is if we could get some help, because DPW is behind with the nor'easters and the rain.
I can get volunteers from the organization, no problem.
I would gladly volunteer to
There
help.
would be no reason to deny it other than the workload that we have. That was the only reason that it was denied. We just couldn't do it. They couldn't do it.
Excellent. So we can commit that the Furtown Falcons would play their home field this year.
If
God willing.
Give me a list of volunteers if I can round up, or I'll put it in Mike Stires' hands to get them together and they'll do it.
I will take all the work to help you get those fields done.
If I may, Council President, I just wanted to remark on Council McVeigh's point about the signs.
Sure.
I want to tell the story. I was speaking with, I think, the middle school children, and it was sort of a speech like Mr. Thompson gave. I said, you know, I grew up on the flats, you know, where did you grow up? And they said, I grew up on Purcell Hill. I said, or Purcell Street. I said, well, that's Purcell Hill. And they kind of didn't know what Purcell Hill was. And I asked another young man, I said, where did you grow up? And he said, I grew up on Summit Avenue. And I said, that's the hill. And he didn't know where the hill was. And I left there saying, we're losing our culture. We're losing our heritage as we become diluted. We've had a lot of migration from the urban centers. They don't know Purcell Hill. They don't know Valley View. Forget about Dishwater Hill. And so that was the reason for the signage, was to maintain that culture and put a sense of place into those areas that we don't forget. It was just that simple, but if you think it's sign pollution, you know, it won't go any further, I can guarantee you that. I do see sign pollution all over Phillipsburg. Plastic, cardboard, it drives me crazy. I work with the parks, I hate sign pollution. But when I saw that the younger generation didn't know the hill from Purcell Hill to Valley View, yeah, I was concerned. I thought that they should know, you know, the area Still Hill was after Ingersoll. You know, there's history behind it all. The hill was our first residential area. And it was just an attempt to retain that culture, that heritage, that sense of place.
Okay. Just my point of view, Mayor, is, and I understand everything that you said, I would like to spend more time promoting the fact that we are one solid Phillipsburg. Right. So with that being said, I'd also like to echo the sentiment of Councilman Davis. The DPW did a fantastic job. I believe we have a few members here in attendance this evening. You guys did a bang-up job. And I am extremely proud of the behavior of our colleagues, my colleagues, this council. As you all know, we went through some tumultuous times, and tonight was a new beginning. So I'm just proud to say that I work with each and every single one of you. So thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming out. I get a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.